Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. I cannot wait for this one. Monza, the first race of the season, and I'm about to show you something pretty cool. We've got 20 drivers on the track. Let's see how this one goes. Obviously got a couple of highest tier drivers, so those guys are going to have to sit out of qualifying, but we've got a pretty quick guy currently on the top of the time tables. Cohen, kind of being a bit of a smurf right now, but we'll see what happens later on and see how his race pace goes. We're on board with Gilly. He will set another lap time. Let's see what they can do. Up by 2 tenths, and that's going to be enough for P3 at the moment. Very good job from them. We've got a couple brand new drivers. We've got a couple of drivers that are currently reserves that should be permanent next week, but they'll stay as reserve drivers for now. And luckily, we welcome back Zingy to the commentary box. Zingy, you won it yesterday, finally, after a while. Tyre-wise, I know I ask you this all the time, but tyre-wise, would you even want to consider a soft medium, or do they actually wear out more than people think?
Well, you can always try to solve medium, but with my experience with the hard, you can only go 19 laps before they hit that 60% period, and that's when they really start to die off. You get that 50%, and you get that crucial 60%, and then as soon as you hit that, your pace will drop half a second more no matter what tyre you're on. So doesn't really matter. You could go hard, medium, hard, but some people who might be lighter on the tyres, maybe a tyre whisperer in here or two, they might be able to make the most of the tyres and do that medium soft. And I would recommend obviously going mediums first, as the harder tyre and the higher fuel load, it can stay in it for longer.
For sure. Sorry for the quick delay on the stream there. I just have to sort something out, and then we'll be good to go right now. Alrighty, Gilly's gone and done their lap. We've got JJ. I think is he on a lap, or is he on a cooldown lap? He is on a lap right now. He's got a full battery on him right now. He finally gets to Ferrari. He's been waiting for this for a very, very long time. A different team change, McLaren now have Dave Raptors and Robbo. They didn't really like the Alpine last time. They want Mercedes or Red Bull, but unfortunately they're not available, so they will be sitting in the McLaren, which I think they are fairly happy with. Alrighty, let's see. Is that an Alpha Tauri going to cross the line? Is that Mikash or Devon Young? I'm not entirely sure. Devon Young into the pit lane, so it must have been Mikash to start a lap, or is that to end a lap? I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to look for them. I've completely lost them because they've already set the lap and they've gone to P4. There you go, 19.7. So it is slowly but surely creeping up the order. Cohen's still currently on pole position. So it's a pretty big margin, almost 6 tenths he has right now.
Yeah, Cohen showing his pace at the moment, and as you said, a bit of a smurf, but you never know, it might just be a one-off track for him. He might drop off in our races. You might see other people doing absolutely brilliantly. We know there's some people who can be really good at some tracks, and some people who like to, not like to struggle, but seem to struggle a lot in others. Like, yeah, Spain's a good example. There'll be quite a few people there, I think, who might struggle with the new layout. And the curbings of this year, it's quite difficult to ride over them, and obviously your ride height affects you a lot this year, so we'll have to wait and see on that front. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. New cars, new handling model, new everything this year. It's basically a clean slate, so maybe we'll see some new drivers take to the front and have good battles.
Yep, it's true. Fair enough. Alright, so Monk, are they on a lap right now? I'm sorry, I'm trying to sort things out in the background. And it's all getting a bit chaotic. Here we go. The Williams driver currently sitting in P6 in the Canada region, racing under the Indonesian flag. No, Thailand flag, sorry. Mixing that up. Alrighty. DRS available and across the line. What will we see from them? That's going to be outlap. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Let's see what you can do. Into time one. We will go. A 19.8, still a fair way off of the top guys. Goes pretty tidy through turns 1 and 2 on the exit in third gear. Gets a little bit of a rear loss as you go in third gear, get that kind of torquey area rather than in second gear where you get the horsepower area. Very complicated. I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, into the braking zone in the second chicane. Looking pretty nice. Nice and tidy through there as well. I do apologise. I'm going to quickly have to stop anyway. I do know that you can't see anything at the moment. I'm going to quickly have to go through a few things first to fix them. I am very, very sorry. Zengli, can you take us through maybe tyre temperatures around here or fuel usage?
I mean, yeah, fuel usage, there's like nothing around here. You can run probably point 0.3 and make it, even without a safety car or a VSC. Although it might seem a bit weird how you're going full throttle most of the time, the car doesn't actually rev out that much apart from on the end of the straights, and by that point, you're already starting to brake, and there's a lot of lifting off. In some corners, like a Scary, you lift off a lot, you just try and get the car turned in, and then you accelerate. And by that time, you've saved point 0.2 or point 0.3, so you don't even have to modulate fuel all in tire temps as well. You're going straight most of the time. Granted, you are going up to 340, 50 Ks, but that being said, you're still able to run very high tire pressures, which might come into people's favour if they have done their practice, done their research, and we might see some different strategies because of that. Now, Robo P4 is going to lap noise in AI mode, I believe, but we have a lot of people starting to lap just like Cone here, coming down the front straight into turn 1. You want to brake actually around about 120 metres. It's quite a long braking zone. It goes a bit wide into the first corner, keeps it tidy for the second, and it looks as though he's got good traction on that Red Bull, so maybe potentially some higher downforce. Coming through the Cardiff Grande now, and it's flat out throughout here. These modern F1 cars don't really care. I'm just going to send it through here. He's only 300s down, so he must have recovered very well in that second part of the chicane. Coming for the second chicane now, not the second part, and he's doing great. He's flown through there. The curbs didn't phase him at all. He gets right up to track limits there on the first Delissimo. This second one always feels like you're underperforming, but he takes it nice and flowing like through there, keeping the pace up, and now flying under the old track layout and into the new one, into Ascari, and he's gonna be only 600s down, so he's struggling a lot here unless he's saving tyres for Parabolica. In this last straight, you've got a lot of time to contemplate as qualifying is over. We're going to see Cohen brake round about the 50-metre board. You can brake really late here. 5th gear, you can run right up to here on the exit, but you need to cut back inside. And Cohen's lap time, is it going to be an improvement? It's going to be into the 18s, a 1:18.9. Can Dave Raptus respond?
Might be possible. It says he's 1/10 down right now, but that might just be an incorrect delta. We shall see very, very shortly. A couple of people crossing the line. The Mercedes, I believe, does that Gibby going across the line. They won't be able to improve. Quite a few people going across the line and finishing the session. We do have an Alpine who's got the final corner to go, and then we will see a bit of traffic, I think, with a couple of cars behind as well. It's all switching up. Mikash to P2. That's going to be very interesting. Can he hold on to it? Will Dave Raptors be able to improve? We go through the final corner. Parabolica, as it is known. Come on, let's see. Gilly, they finished qualifying in 19.8. They will not be able to get in front of their teammate. Dave Raptors across the line for the final time, and he's not going to get in front of Mikash. It's almost a 2/10 improvement, and that is a tiny, tiny margin. Qualifying is done. Cohen is on pole position.
The
Not
only driver
really
in
been
the
challenged
18s.
though.
Yeah, I mean, 4/10 around Monza, that might not seem like a lot, but especially around the track where it's mostly straight, it's Cohen smashed out of the park. He seems to have done his practice. Everyone caught up towards the end though, so maybe it is going to be much closer than what we might anticipate. So these drivers, F1.5, they still got it. They've still got some good pace. Don't doubt them. And especially people like your Cohen, Mikash, and Dave Raptors who have been here before.
It's all about the race pace, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you want to be able to lead quite nicely, that's a bit of a glitch. If you want to lead quite nicely in Monza and escape a DRS train, you need to have a significant advantage. Sorry for that little glitch there. Cohen gets pole position, Mikash in P2, Dave Raptors in P3. Does have a 5-place grid penalty, so Robbo will start P3 in the end. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get that removed today. So that's just going to have to be how it goes. That's the race director, just in case if we need to check it out in a little bit. Quick mention to Devon Young. Did he get a lap in? He seems to be quite far behind. He didn't get a clean lap, and he had a tyre penalty, so could only use one set of tyres. Maybe struggled a little bit there. Anyway, that being said, we're going to go and get into the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready. Hold. Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are finally... No, we're not. We are...
What?
Okay, we're lagging.
It's a safety car, no?
Okie dokie. That's an interesting one. Drive-through penalty for Dave Raptors. That does look
It's
like
safety
we are
car.
probably going to be going for a restart, I think, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a bit crazy. Okay. Sorry for the delay, guys. We will be back with you very, very shortly. We will see you in a bit. I do apologize. Thank you for waiting, guys. We'll be back very, very shortly in probably less than 30 seconds. We'll see you in a bit. About 5 seconds, actually. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? We're finally away! There you go, just about. Let's check if there's a safety car. No, there isn't this time. We are good to go. Cohen gets away. Well, there's a big crash off in the background. Lots of people getting wheel spin. There might be a safety car out of that one. And there is a safety car. It's very, very unfortunate. Unfortunately, Ogyo's got himself a 5-second time penalty. He just made contact with somebody as soon as the safety car was deployed. Lots of people bunched up. How many people have drive-through penalties after that one, or is it simply just a 5-second time penalty?
All
It
of
is
them are
just
5 seconds.
Yeah, just a 5-second time penalty because there've been collisions that have been caused under the safety car, period. Okay, Cohen leads the way. He's not going to be affected. Lots of people are going to have to repair their cars. We're going to check through to see who is the first car to have damage. Monk might... No, Ogyo, sorry. They don't have damage. I think they must have lightly tapped somebody. Got themselves a 5-second. Unfortunately, it's going to be very unlikely to get removed. Another 5-second time penalty. It's very tricky in these conditions. And, yeah, that's very unfortunate.
Well, thankfully for everyone's safety, there's not been any big incidents severe enough that anyone's retired. All the 20 drivers are still in the race. Although it was a bit chaotic at the start, the safety car immediately, people just lost the back end, overestimating the grip. But to be fair, 20 drivers and only like about 6 or 7 of them have to pit for damage in these conditions. DTI as well, it's their first race, it's Monza after all, and it's in the wet, which no one knows, so you got to give credit to these guys where it's due, and the fact that everyone's kept it relatively clean for what they can do is actually quite impressive, don't you say?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Devon Young has damage, so that's going to drop him pretty far back, but I believe that's everybody behind him also with damage. Does Anders have damage? It doesn't look like it, but he has got an interesting 10-second time penalty somehow. That is, I believe, Monk into the pit lane, surely. There's no way that... Okay, it's just not showing me that people are into the pit lane. Nice.
It seems there was damage, sorry to interrupt, but into the pit lane there was bits of carbon fibre and front wing and that, so someone's made contact potentially on the pit entry. I don't know whose car it was, but someone's going to lose out there.
A lot of stuff going on, and we're only on lap 2. We didn't even complete the first corner. So 2 safety cars very early on. One was a bug. This one was legitimate. There's not a restart for this one. We will be going in, I assume, at the end of lap 3. I think that would be correct. Just to give you a quick heads up, we are going to be having an intermediate tyre situation for the start of the race. Then it will go to overcast, so the track will dry up, probably quite gradually though. It's not going to be an immediate dry up. We'll see. You can never really tell. And then it will be light cloud a bit later on. So I think we still could be going quite a long way on these intermediate tyres. Would it be that much of an advantage to go into the pit lane and get those fresh inters on? No, because we've literally done no laps of racing. But yeah, other than that, I think maybe just over halfway of the race we will be going onto a set of slick tyres. Thingy, if you were to go halfway, would you want to get on the mediums or the hards?
If you're saying halfway in terms of lap 13, 14, then yeah, I would happily go mediums. They would die off at the end. Oh, there's Tom making a mistake under safety car. Sorry, as I was saying. Yeah, lap 13, 14 you can do mediums, but towards that end stage of the race, it's going to get really, really tough. You'll be on like 50, 60%. You don't want to go over that 60% threshold, but with the cooler track temperatures at the beginning of your medium stint, you could prevent that, and I think a lot of people will try and go mediums. Maybe some audacious people going softs if they can stick it out on the inters. Maybe a lap or 2 longer. We know this game likes to throw in a curveball. The rain can stop instantly, or within like 10 laps of it actually stopping of the rain, of course. So it's going to be tough for these drivers to see when it actually will be the crossover point in this game. along with every other Code Masters game, is so unpredictable. So we'll just have to wait and see. A lot of people, not a lot, a few people coming back, and surprisingly, Gunter has picked up some more damage on the second lap of the safety car. I don't know how he's managed that.
And Andrews serving their second time penalty. Maybe Gunter was trying to do that as well, or they just genuinely did have damage. Or maybe they didn't even repair it the lap before. That can happen in this game on occasion. You never know, unfortunately. Some people deciding to not go and serve the penalty. That is a big mistake there from Gunter. He's got to be careful on these cold tyres. He's going to have about half a lap to speed up and catch up. The chances are of us going in this lap is very, very slim. So unfortunately, we will be staying out another lap. I think probably the drivers are actually quite liking this because they get to spend more time under the safety car in a wet condition scenario, and then when it gets drier, then they can have some proper racing. We will see how it goes. There's not actually a wet time trial scenario in this game because for some good reason they decided it would be a good idea to remove it, so pretty much no one is going to have practice unless they've actually had a league race in the wet conditions or decided to go into a Grand Prix mode. Zingy, what would you be doing if there was a mixed weather scenario that you're in? Would you be... I don't know why I just said that, never mind. Let's just ask a question. Do you like mixed weather or do you prefer it to be one or the other?
Well, personally, I like it to be mixed weather. It throws in a curveball, and it really brings out the best and worst in drivers. I believe that the better drivers will shine in these transitioning periods, and you will be able to see some movement up and down the order, especially with perhaps Gilly. I mean, you know he's always just kind of lurking around P4, P5. He never gets any time penalties, so we maybe see someone like Gilly get up to that podium position because maybe, I don't want to pick on anyone specifically, but maybe one of the McLarens will have the double stack behind the other, and Gilly will gain a place as he's, you know, in that transitioning period. So we don't know. It's tough. And there's also going to be mistakes for guys all over the field. I mean, we've seen on the safety car, Gunter and others making mistakes, and obviously with Tom as well. So on the safety car, it's tricky to keep the car in a straight line. And if they're only going like 70, 80 mile an hour, then how are they going to be doing it 200?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We've also got time penalties that can play a part in this. I do remember the question that I had earlier, what would you be doing setup-wise? But I think we're going to be going for the restart now, so I can ask that later on.
No!
That is a nasty incident there. What happened?
Oh. He just warming up the tyres and he lost the back end. Thankfully, everyone should be avoiding him, and Andrews and Gunter are going to be the last two. And yes, they've avoided them, but Tom warming up the tyres a bit too aggressively, and he's already out. The safety car won't be extended, but that's such a shame. His debut race, and he's made a mistake like that. That's not a good way to start. However, the safety car is in this lap, and we'll be looking to start finish rate. We'll finally get this race underway.
And that is another incident, and Jaromir retires under the safety car conditions. Lots of people struggling with this situation. Somebody else might have damage, but we're going to have to focus on Mikash and Cohen. Cohen's already gone for the restart, losing the car. Mikash is going to get a perfect run now. He loses again, but he can't go for the overtake until the line. He's going to have to lift off. That's absolutely tragic. Can Dave Raptors get involved in this one? No, I don't think he can. It's still going to be side by side into the first corner. Surely that's not going to work. He actually backs off. Dave Raptors is invited to the party. He's now on the inside line. He thinks he's going to get the move done. He's got it done, and all of a sudden Robbo's involved, and he might have a go here. Lots going on. I don't understand what has happened. Unfortunately, Ogier has managed to lose out a lot. There's overtakes further back in the field. It's very easy to lose the traction, lose the run. Other people can just swarm you then, and lots of switching up happening. Is that Robbo going for the overtake in the second chicane? Here comes JJ. He's going to have a look, and Mika just drops like a fly from P2 to P5 all of a sudden. That's absolutely crazy. Robbo makes a mistake. JJ looking to make more positions.
Yeah, JJ going up the inside of Robbo into the second Lesmo, and Cohen under threat from the other McLaren of Dave Raptors. They've made this start work out beautifully, but not as well as JJ. But Robbo's coming back on into a scar we go now. It's going to be too wide. We've seen what can happen here before. There's been some bit of instance, and JJ somehow keeps it on track. And up at the third, oh, but he makes a mistake. and that's going to allow Robbo back side by side once again. It's incredible. These guys are just about keeping it on track, but I think Robbo is going to keep the move here. He's got the inside. He's got the closer distance to the apex, and he should be able to just fly past. Although JJ's proving me wrong here up until he loses the back end. And that is Robbo and McLaren up into the podium positions.
Mikash makes a mistake on exit of Parabolica, and now Max and Gilly both go through. So Max making a brilliant run on the restart. Very good job indeed. And Andrew's showing his pace immediately despite being further down the field. Yeah, okay, Dave Raptor's fair enough to him. Qualifying was Cohen's time to shine. We've got a car off. That is an Alpine car. Making a mistake. I don't really know where to look, to be honest, because everything is going on everywhere. Now we still have side by side through turn 3. Would you even be lifting? I'm not entirely sure. A yellow flag that looks like it's maybe, I don't know, it was either a Mercedes or a Haas side by side. That's never going to work as Khan backs off. And maybe Flexar can get through. He's on the inside line for the first mode. He's not going to back off. Surely that's never going to work. Somehow makes it work. There's a little bit of contact. He's not going to be happy with that one, Tron. Here comes the Mercedes. And they missed their braking point. Gibby is going to cause a bit of a commotion. All of a sudden, tapped is the Alfa Romeo. That is not good. And Andrews comes out on top of this battle. I don't understand what has just happened, but the order has changed massively.
Yeah, Gibby just running wide in the Lesmos, and he just kind of tapped. I think it was Flex hard, and it all kind of just went a bit mental there as we see Niffeljan losing the back end and Nilly doing a grass track from yesterday and just becoming piece of carbon fibers. Oh, speaking of, here's Dave Raptors. He's spun in the Parabolica section and he's went from P3 or P2 all the way to P8. And here comes Max on Devin Young. He's flying past. Has he got lower downforce or something? That is incredible at top speeds. It looks as though Devin Young's not going to be able to compete unless he goes for the dive bomb into turn 1. He's going to look for the move. Oh, and he sent Max to the shops. Max has been put under pressure. He gets a 3 second for cutting the chicane, which might be removed. I'm not too sure. But here comes Devin once again. He's going to go down the inside of turn 3, and he's made it up into P6. As you said, I don't know where to look. It's going on everywhere, and it's quite entertaining so far.
For sure is. There's a battle further behind, and once again Gibby losing the car, and that's going to be End Andrews having to cut the corner. That is absolutely tragic. Gibby's going to have to try and put the brakes on a little bit harder than that if he wants to get through cleanly, but that is a very tricky scenario he's found himself in. He's got 2 cars closely behind him as well. And I don't know, Nifojan now goes for the move. He's going to have to be really careful. The 2 Alfa Romeos looking to try and swarm the Haas driver. They are going to go to the outside. They're boxing him in. But I think Nifojan's got the advantage and he should be good to go. There's no way you're going to get side by side through there, surely. No, on the exit he might have a go, but we're going to have to go further up the field as it is basically 3 wide. The 2 Williams are so close to one another. We've got Alpine to the inside. He wants to hold on. Plan around. Can he get it done? He has got it done. He'll be able to get into the slipstream. I am losing my words all over the place right now. I do apologise. Mikash fighting Gilly here as they go for the move.
Oh.
Cohen has lost out. They've lost the race lead. Robbo leads. Cohen down to P2. JJ momentarily in P2, but he gets himself a 3-second time penalty. He's sideways and he's trying to hold on.
Yeah, JJ and Cohen went side by side into turn 1. It looked as though Cohen just locked the front and pushed JJ off a bit. Both of them having to cut the first chicane. And JJ moved his way up to P2, and that's Mikash. Mikash having to take the escape road as he tried to look to move on Cohen, and it just didn't work out, and he's dropped all the way down to P6. And now look who it is. It's Gilly emerging out of nowhere once again. He looks as though he's got quite a bit of battery. The rain has stopped here in Monza, and it's going to be a crossover point anytime soon, and JJ actually looks like he's got the pace in these changeable conditions. He was much faster than Robbo. He was all over the back of him until Cohen made that interesting move into turn 1. So can JJ hold on to DRS when it does get activated and perhaps fight for this one?
It's very possible. He's got close in the past. Safety car is out. That's going to be the heart of Nifojan having an issue. I assume that's going to be damage for him and he's going to have to make a pit stop. That is a heck of a shame because he's going to lose a lot of track position. We've had 2 trains going on just earlier on. Max and Dave Raptors switch up for a moment. Dave Raptors was behind originally anyway, so maybe you just didn't realise there was going to be a safety car. Most people are going to be staying out. There's a couple of people pitting already. Maybe they've asked Mark to see if it's going to be dry, and they're going to try and hope that they'll spend long enough under the safety car for it to dry up. They are. That's Gilly onto the hards, and was that Red Bull of Cohen onto the mediums.
Yep.
This is a bold strategy. Zingy, what would you be doing right now?
I don't know what the people at the front are doing. I would be I'd be in, man.
Oh, okay.
Have you looked at this? Look at the track. It's basically, you got that dry line starting to form, and yes, the inters might be a couple of tenths faster, if not a second, but a second a lap for 3 laps, it's only 3 seconds, and what's the pit lost time? Around 21. So these guys on the tyres that they are now are going to have about an 18-second lead, if what I'm saying is true. I think it might be a little bit more time they're going to lose, but nonetheless, Cohen, Gilly, Dave Raptors, and some others who have pitted for the hard tyres are going to test out the conditions. Interestingly, Cohen's went for the mediums. He might have been listening when I said that the changing conditions can cause less tyre wear, which we've seen in real life in Zandvoort when was it Albon sticked out on those soft tyres and he'd done 40 laps, all because the changeable conditions made it so the tyre didn't wear out. So maybe Cohen taking inspiration from the Williams driver and going for that bold strategy. What do you think? Hards or mediums?
I mean, looking at the track now, it definitely can work. Hards or mediums, hards. You might be able to get away with going all the way to the end. That being said, a safety car could come out later on, but you would also want to have the mediums fresh for later on. Maybe you could do a double medium if a safety car was to come out, but I would be on the hards right now. Cohen's trying to maybe bank on another safety car coming out, if not just trying to go all the way to the end. Gibby decides to change his mind, and he is going to go into the pit lane after seeing the race leaders make pit stops. A couple people might get to serve penalties. I think they're all 3 seconds actually. But yeah, what I do want to say is that the tyres are going to be so cold. They're going to be absolutely freezing. They're running on a wet surface. We're gonna probably be restarting on the next lap. Maybe I'm wrong, might be the lap after. So there is gonna be a phase where people are gonna be struggling. The question is, will it be enough to warrant that pit stop? I think it will. The track is drying up. It's just how quickly does it dry up? That really is the question. I don't know. It's kind of drying up quickly, but also not at the same time. That is because we are under the safety car conditions, though.
Right. Okay. I thought about it. Right. You've got 5, 6, we'll say 9 or 10 people on the intermediates, and the same on the dry tyres. The intermediates will, at full speed, clear a water, and the people on those dry tyres will try and keep the temp in, but it's going to be very difficult if people know the right methods, which I won't say. But if they know the right methods, they can keep heat in their tyres, and they can perhaps have a chance, maybe not at the inter-runners, but you know what the most important thing is? Just keep it on the track. I cannot emphasise that enough, You've got a Ferrari of Gilly in P2 technically now. You've got Dave Raptors, who's maybe, yes, lost a lot of time with that spin, but he's still P3, and Andrews, he's went from last up to P4 in 10 laps. What can I say? Obviously he's P9 at the moment, but this strategy I think is going to work. We're going to have one more lap on the safety car, and I think it might be in regardless of what is going to be happening elsewhere. So I think this strategy is going to work here, and I think the people that switched have done the smart thing here.
Yeah, it could well do, and I think it will be the strategy. I think the time gains would be enough to outweigh staying out. Robbo, JJ, Devon, Young, Mikash, and Max, they're all going to be furious that they're still carrying on. One thing I just want to say at the moment is Devon Young has made a pit stop, and they're in P3. Sure, the safety car has changed things. It's not looking maybe as good as it really should be, but still, Robbo and JJ Mikash, they were at the front. Devon Young has done a very good job to get himself into P3. It's just, will he be doing a good enough job? We'll see. Now, one thing that could be figured out here is the guys that pit later on onto the slick tyres, they will probably be able to take the mediums home, I reckon. They're going to have to try and extend these inters as much as they possibly can. The hard tyres, they might lose pace there. And we could, of course, like I said earlier on, see a safety car come out. I don't know. I think the hard tyres are just going to have such an advantage. Cohen is taking that gamble. I hope he can prove us wrong, but it's not going to be easy later on. Safety car is in this lap, as you said, and Robbo will be the one to lead the way. JJ is going to have to react. Got to make sure that he doesn't get too close to the other cars and get alongside. That is very, very awkward situation with the speed of the safety car right there. Maybe that as a throttle limiter, possibly, if he was in too high a gear. Very, very easily done. All right, Robbo. Got a lot to think about here. He's got to make sure that he keeps an eye on the track surface as well. It's still inters at the moment, but it won't be for long. When will he go for the restart? Lots going on further behind. There is a big gap in between the field. Robbo goes for the restart. No, he doesn't. No. He's still waiting for the field to try and catch up. I don't know what they're doing further behind. The Mercedes just causing a bit of a commotion. There you go. Robbo's gone for the restart now. JJ sits behind pretty nicely. Will Cohen go for the move? It's all over the place. Somebody's got damage. Cohen has got damage. I do not believe it. Trying to make overtakes if he can, still with the damage. I don't understand what is going on. There's contact. There goes the Ferrari round. Gilly's going to be furious with that one, and it's side by side with quite a few cars. The Alpine going to be overtaken by the Williams of End Andrews. He's on the superior tyre. It is now immediately time for the slick tyres. What a shame for the top guys, but I don't understand what has just happened. JJ's round now, as that must have been a collision with Devon Young. He's going to be furious with that one. The two Ferraris not having a good time at their home race, and Cohen, he's just had such a bad time. That's unbelievable.
And Niffle tried to be audacious, going on the grass to overtake the intermediate runners, and he just kind of tapped, I think it was Jaden, and he already had his front line lost, but I think there was damage between those battles. I'm not too sure what was going on, but Dave Raptors, out of all this, can I just say, he spun like 4 laps ago. It was P8 and now he's P4 on the superior tyre, and it looks as though him and End Andrews are going to be the one battling to the end of the race. Dave has what, 5-second penalty? It could be removed, you know, the whole song and dance with that. But at the moment, he just got to stay focused. The intermediate runners look...
Ooh.
Well, Robbo at least looks okay for pace-wise. He just hit the purple last sector, so... Excuse me, I don't know what's going on here. Are they faster? It looks as though it's bone dry though. I don't know about you, Aaron.
I don't think they are, because I saw a lot of people losing the car on exit of Ascari and just other parts of the circuit. So I think he's just trying to make sure that it is possible to go to the mediums. Surely he has to go into the pit lane right now. He's only going to lose the advantage that he kind of has at the moment. Lots of people getting damage off that restart somehow and going into the pit lane regardless. Cohen having a terrible day. JJ having a terrible day as well. Lots of people really not going to be happy with that situation. We will see. Devon Young, will he be able to get a nice undercut here? I think he will, at least on Robbo and Mikash. But right now, Dave Raptors is leading.
Yeah, Dave Rapp just lost the back end, looking for the move on Mikash, and here comes, the inevitable. It's End Andrews. He's going to go down the inside into Ascari. The pace between these two is, night and day between the intermediate and dry runners. He gets pushed off track a bit, but it was a bit tight there. I don't know how anyone made it out alive there, if I'm honest. That was great car control by Andrews. And we were talking about these intermediate runners as Andrews looks again for the move on Dave Raptors. He wasn't there, but Dave gave him the space respectfully. And Mikash, is he going to go for the pit lane? Yes, he is. So it's going to be a straight battle for lead now. Coming onto the main straight, Dave tucks into the slipstream of Andrews into turn 1. Is he going to go for the move down the inside of the Williams driver? Let's see. Under braking, can he get it stopped on time? He does. That is a beautiful move if he can pull it off. He goes a bit wide on the entry of turn 1 and gets the absolutely beautiful exit out of turn 2. Dave Raptors leads the Italian Grand Prix.
Awesome job right there. But here comes End Andrews, going to try and go to the inside line. No, he backs off. But very, very interesting moment at Ascari there. It kind of looked like just End Andrews just aborted the move and cut the corner. Maybe that was just the camera angle, but we'll see a little bit later on. Absolutely crazy stuff going on at the moment. Flexard finds himself in P4 in the train as well. The next gap is Nifojan. He's going to be trying his best to catch up. He's got a few cars behind him. Ogio, the lead car on the medium tyres. He needs to try and make the most of these tyres while they are currently in a good situation. I really don't know what's going to happen here. Robbo exits in P11. I thought Mikash went into the pit lane. He did. So he has managed to get in front of Robbo. They're both on the mediums. That's weird.
Perhaps maybe a late pit stop by Robbo in terms of like the pit timing, as you guys remember, same last game. If you press the button too late, you can get a slow pit stop, and maybe that's what happened with Robbo. Because knowing Robbo, he's usually good everywhere, and the only thing I can think of is I'm making a mistake with the button press, and he's just done it too late. So that could be it. As we see, here comes Monk up the inside the Nifojan into turn 1, stomps on the brakes nicely and keeps the car under control in these tricky conditions. And on his debut, he's up into P5, not doing too bad, isn't he?
Well done for him in the Williams. That is also switched up for the race lead, and Andrew's looking to try and break away now all of a sudden. I do want to say, what the hell is happening to Gilly? He had such a massive issue on the restart, and he's somehow still in P3. And Andrews is a higher tier driver, who's currently P2 for the EU drivers in that train, which is just unbelievable right now. We were kind of suggesting he might be able to win the race on time penalties. Time penalty wise, it's not looking ideal for Gilly, but he's in a pretty good position to have a go at this win. Currently, net P1 is Flexard, because he's in this train without a time penalty. I think Dave Raptors and Gilly would like to get these time penalties removed, but it's whether they have to make another pit stop. That is the question.
Remember the last time an Alfa Romeo won his race run the race on his debut? That was a good day, wasn't it?
It was a good day.
Flexhard might be trying to bring that glory back to the Italian team. Maybe not the one that the Scuderia, not the Scuderia, the Italian fans wanted, especially the Scuderia Ferrari ones. And here comes Flexhard. Gilly not putting up much resistance, not using the battery. They make contact into turn 1 a little bit. Gilly has to go off the track. He's going to be very careful not to get a time penalty. It does not. But he loses place to Flexhard. A bit of bumping, and I'm not sure what happened there entirely. But here comes Monk. It looks as though he's flashing on the back. Oh, what's going on there? There's been contact between him and Gilly again losing more places. A bit of front wing damage on that right end plate, and it looks as though it's going bad to worse for Gilly, man. It's not been good. He's had a bit of misfortune this race, and it's just going downhill, isn't it? He was doing very well up until that point, and I mean, these things happen as we see, Ogio and those mediums making a bit of a mistake. So maybe it's a transition point already for these tyres. Is the hards going to become better? I'm not sure.
We will find out, won't we? We will find out in a couple of laps' time. Dave Raptor's not doing a bad job. He manages to get back into time penalty range. Flexard, after the little battle with Gilly, does lose out all of a sudden. It looked like he just tried to move as far left as he could to open up the corner, but ended up making contact with Gilly. Gilly had the instability from that moment of contact. Now he's got damage after a collision with Monk. I didn't really see a good angle on it, so I don't know if Gilly understeered or if Monk cut across. Regardless, Gilly's into the pit lane. He's going to go onto the mediums and try and get the best result possible for this race. But he might drop out. He probably will drop out of the points after this one. Just temporarily, he might be able to make his way back up, but we'll have to wait and see. Lots of drivers looking to try and make a recovery at the moment. Nifojan very close to the back of Monk, but I think he's decided to try and stay behind and just wait for the situation. It is Monza after all, so you just want to play it very cautiously.
Yeah, Nifo, he's a very smart driver. He can be a bit inconsistent sometimes, but he likes to play it smart. He likes to wait for that opportunity to pounce, and then he'll just fly away. It's a bit painful when he does it to me sometimes, but it's incredible. You can appreciate how smart he is. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. Is that Twan? Twan's made a bit of a mistake, and now JJ might be on the back of him. He's lost about 3.5 seconds there. JJ looks like he's got almost a full battery, so this could be JJ's chance. I know it's only for P13, and it's not where he should be. He should be fighting for that win up there, but he's looking good at the moment, and maybe gonna get the overtake and secure some pride for him and Ferrari.
Yeah, for sure. It's still, we have a fairly long way to go. 10 laps now, as that is End Andrews crossing the line. Cohen trying his best to recover everything he can, but he is very far back at the moment. The gaps are very spread out. That is looking like Gunter might be on his way to get lapped in a short while, but hopefully he can stay within and maybe get some overtakes later on. It's not going to be easy, he just needs to stay motivated. JJ wasn't able to go for a move right there. I think he's probably waiting regardless. Further up the field, that's an AlphaTauri. I believe that's Robbo and Mikash, who just had a bit of a switch up. Robbo, that strategy has really screwed both of them up there.
Oh yeah, these guys were easily fighting for that top place along with JJ and, as I said, other people too. But they're still battling. They're still battling for some points. P9, I'm sure that's 1 or 2 points. So they shouldn't be too demotivated. That could be the difference between a championship or not. We've seen many times it can come down to just a few points. So I wouldn't give up just yet. I would fight for that position, just like they are at the moment. There's only 7 seconds behind, and you know, with how chaotic this race has been so far, I don't count out another safety car. Are red flags enabled? I don't believe so.
No, they're not.
They're not, but a safety car can happen at any point. So you guys got to stay on their toes and for their sake hope for a safety car.
A little bit of a train further up the field. Jan, Monk and Flexard all in their own little battle. Then we have this right here. JJ Tran. Cohen is right behind on the back of this one. Gilly, might be able to get involved. Cohen pushing the limits with everything he can. It's just so close. He still has DRS, but he's going to lose a lot right there. Tran's going to have to lift off as he stays behind JJ. So I believe Cohen will be able to catch up quite easily. He also doesn't have any battery. So if Cohen's saved up enough, he can actually go for the double overtake. As long as he gets a good exit on Parabolica, it's very possible. The top 3 battle further up the field is very close, but I'm not going to go and check it out just yet because I think they're still just staying in single file at the moment. Cohen already made that move on Tran. He's now going to try and give it a go on JJ. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Surely not. No, he will not. He's going to hold on to that position in front of the Alpine.
Ooh.
There is contact as it was very close. Cohen having a look on JJ, maybe trying to spot his braking point time, maybe not realising that, and maybe Cohen should have just held the inside line if he was doing that. That was a tricky situation. Luckily, it looks like Tom hasn't got damage and Cohen hasn't gone round, so they're still in their train. But that was, a bit too close for comfort right there. Further up the field now, we go through Parabolica. Jan's going to look at possibly making this overtake.
Yeah, Niffle over the back of Flexhard at the moment. Doing very well, these two, the Alfa Romeo and Williams respectively. Niffle, the higher tier driver, is going to fly past them. It looks as though he's using a lot of battery though. That light flashing on the Haas driver. He's going to be looking to hopefully save a bit now and defend that P3 at the moment. Of course, different point systems for different tiers. So these guys are actually fighting for P2 and 3, Flexhard and Monk. But on their debut, I know I say it all the time, and it might be a bit repetitive, but coming into a new league and getting a podium position is not easy, especially when it's been transitioning like this. These guys have just kept it clean, and unlike Niffle with his tyres, they've been keeping it consistent. So Niffle's actually made a mistake here. It looks as though there's a lot of VRS on that Alfa Romeo driver. Will he burn it down the straight? I don't think so. It's not a good strategy. He's going to use a bit at the moment. You can see the little light up thing on the MFD suggesting that he is using overtake, that green light flashing, and into Ascari we go once again for the 20th time. He's not going to look for the move. He's going to stay put. He makes a bit of a mistake, so he might actually be susceptible to Monk here.
It's very possible. It's going to be close. I want to have a quick look at the guys further behind. We've got Cohen who leads the way now. Oh no, Larlock that leads the way. Cohen's right behind him. There was a big off moment. The Ferraris were involved in that one. I don't exactly know what happened. That is going to be fun going off the circuit. Gilly's going to get a perfect run. Goes defensive on the outside. Very interesting movement. I think Gilly's going to wait for an overtake because he wants to secure it on the start-finish straight. Very interesting stuff. We look for the battle of the top 3 still, and that is Monk losing out a lot. They must have had an issue there.
Yeah, I didn't actually see what was going on, but on the map, I got a glimpse of it. I think he might have just lost the back end out of 1, and that might have been an issue that's caused him to drop out of DRS. That is crucial for his race, but not in a good way. He's lost that time, and he's going to be pushing as hard as he can, almost losing the car as he does so. But hey, he got that DRS back, so clearly he's got that pace in reserve. He's just trying to look after the tyres, maybe not the ERS as much as we see Niffle now losing the back end. Are those hard tyres starting to hit that maybe 25? Well, actually, maybe 40% now, considering how long we've went into the race. And here comes Flexar into Ascari. He thinks much better of it. He's going to go for the move on the straight. He's going to try and hope to pull away from Niffle, because his battery situation on the Haas is looking a bit dire. You can see it flashing, and that's a signal for our driver to say, hey, I've not got any battery, and he might take that as an overtaking opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be very interesting. He's got a perfect entry, and he's already going to be alongside almost on the exit. He's a lot more ERS than Nifojan, so it should be a pretty straightforward move. Will he get the move done before the corner? Nifojan goes slightly defensive, but that's going to be the Alfa Romeo, sorry, in front, and Nifojan's not really going to be worrying about that one too much. Unfortunately, Cohen gets the 3-second time penalty. He's now in front of his teammate. He is actually in the points, as they will get promoted in front of Nifojan and End Andrews, who are higher tier drivers. Looking at this battle that's going on further up the field, Dave Raptors, even though he's got that time penalty, he's currently still on cue to win this race.
Yeah, you're talking about battles and that, and I've been looking and observing about this other battle. You know, Robo Mikash, about 5 laps ago, they were battling for P9. Now enter Gibby. Gibby's been struggling on those hard tyres for the whole stint, and it looks as though he just can't find the grip. Yeah, he just blows the back end. And unfortunately for Robbo, he's just kind of tapped him. I don't think you can really blame anyone there. And he's going to go for the DRS detection point, and none of them have got DRS, so that's just giving Mikash an opportunity to run away. And with these guys similar pace, Robbo and Mikash, I'm saying, here on the medium tyre, that might be it for that battle at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty tragic. Robbo's going to be furious with that situation. Both of them getting very interesting exits on Ascari. Now, Robbo's got a lot of hard work to do if he wants to catch up, but still a very hard battle with Nifojan and Flexard. I just hope that Flexard and Monk don't try too hard against Nifojan. They are still able to fight, of course, but don't risk it like you're going to crash, because he will be on a different point system. Regardless, right now, Monk is going to be, in theory, in front. It just depends on what the time penalty situation is for Flexar, because we don't really know what's going on. So many people have been forced off. That is the Red Bull again of Cohen. That is such a shame.
You're on about Cohen?
Robbo as well, Gibby. I assume that's what you're on about. All of a sudden, Max is involved.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Gibby. Maybe a bit of contact with Mika. I don't know what happened to Gibby. I thought he was with Robbo. So I'm not sure what's happened there. I'm a bit lost, I'm honest. This race has been absolutely mental, and there's still about 4 or 5 laps to go. Cohen's given up. He's retired in the pit lane. I mean, it's been a tough race for everyone, so... I mean, I don't really forgive people for retiring in the pit lane, but what can you do sometimes? Anyway, we're looking at this battle for P9 now. Again, it's still for P9. Robbo will be absolutely bloody fuming. He was battling with Mikash, who is now 6.6 seconds up the road, and now has to battle with these people on hards. And the hards didn't look good, so Robbo had that chance to run away. And because of Gibby's mistake, which caused him to make a bit of contact, now it's going to be a battle with the hard tyre runners, who might start to find pace in the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
Oh, lots of mistakes going on. Gibby's going to be out of this one in the end. That is going to be DRS available. No pressure for Max to make this move, and that should be pretty straightforward. Going defensive hard to the inside is Robbo, but there's going to be no coming back from that one at this point in time. He's just going to have to wait until the final few laps and maybe go for the move, just to make sure that the time penalties don't get removed. But we'll see how that one goes a little bit later on. In the meantime, Nifojan has escaped from the battle of Flexard and Monk. It doesn't change anything. Monk, though, 1 second gap. He's now possibly out of DRS range. So let's have a quick look at the DRS flap. It is not open, so this could be an opportunity for Flexard to break away, but the time penalty says maybe not, and also straight line speed. You just have a straight to try and catch up on, so if you save your ERS, you might be able to catch up anyway.
Yeah, I was just looking at the gap there, and it looks as though initially Monk had a better entry, but that's where Flexard sacrificed his run, and he got the better exit, and then Monk is... Actually, no, he's only 7 tenths back. I was looking at the wrong gap, I do apologise. I think he's in DRS, is he? Yeah, he's done it, he's back in DRS, although his battery is hanging on for dear life. It's struggling so much at the moment. but nonetheless, he's going to look for the move maybe. No, just going to pressurise him at the moment as Oggio goes for the move on Devin Young. He makes a bit of a mistake into turn 1, granted with that overpowered DRS, maybe braking just a bit too late for those medium tyres, which are, by the way, 15 laps, so that is incredible how he's not popped yet. And Devin Young, he's had a topsy-turvy race, he's been at the back, he's been at the front, and now he's battling in the midfield for 3-6, so I'm sure he'll be taking that in a race that has had so many curveballs, for him especially.
Yeah, so he will take some decent points home. Believe it or not, after the race they've had, Ferrari are both going to be in the points. That's going to be P10 and 9 for them. As long as they stay as they are, Lalek might be able to get in the points here. We do have Devin Young going for the move on the Alfa Romeo, and that should be pretty straightforward for now. Will he get a slingshot to try and catch up to the cars in front? If they battle, it's very, very possible. These guys have basically got just under 2 laps, or basically just over 1 lap actually, to save the RS for the final lap and hope that they'll be able to do enough. Monk, he's got the high ground. He's got to probably wait and just make sure he stays behind. That being said, though, he's going for the overtake already, so Flexard all of a sudden has the high ground. Does he have time penalties that he can be removed? If he's fighting it this hard, I'd suggest maybe he does.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that gap to Devin Young, it was like 1.8, and now it's only 1.2. Not only is Devin showing good pace, but these guys are unnecessarily battling. If they could see that Devin is right behind him now, he's about 1 second back. Devin, you've got to use your ERS, mate. You've got that tiny gap to push, and you've only got 1.5 laps to get past these guys. It's on those old medium tyres, and there's not much time left. He just needs to go for it. I've said it before just 2 seconds ago, but look at them. Both the lights are flashing. Devin's got a bit in reserve. Oh, and Flexard stepped the wall. 26 laps of smooth, clean, and consistent racing, all for it to go down the pan. And he blocks his teammate who he'll just about get DRS, but that might have messed up. Oggio there. I'm not too sure. That is unfortunate. He really tried to maintain position, and now he's losing a front wing. That is so unfortunate.
That is tragic. He's going to probably stay out, and I think he can still secure that P5 as he will get promoted 2 positions. Not what he wanted, though, but that is incredible. Devin Young, all of a sudden, in P3. Monk's got the P2. Will Devin Young be able to make a move for that P2 on the last lap? What a journey they've had. That is someone off at the back, the other Alfa Romeo, all of a sudden losing it. It's all changing up. Here we go. Going for the overtake will be Devin Young. He's not going to wait until later on. Neither driver have ERS, so it's going to be just based on setup, effectively. I think he might be banking on his pace throughout the next few chicanes. He might be able to get it done. It's not going to be that easy, though.
Yeah, Devin Young. I mean, he's already pulled 7/10 on Monk. He made a bit of a mistake coming out of the chicane there, losing the back end on the curb. And it looks as though he might not get the position back. 0% on that Lion driver's ERS. It looks tragic at the moment. So I don't know what's going to be happening here. Devin somehow finding pace on those 14-lap old medium tyres. You got to respect him. I don't know how he's dragging that car along with such horrible tyres. But I mean, oh, I was going to say, looking at End Andrews, he's about to win, but he made a bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a big enough gap to get the job done anyway. End Andrews is going to come around the final corner to win the Italian Grand Prix. But for the EU drivers, Dave Raptors is going to somehow come around the final corner to win. It's been an incredible race. Very well deserved from him. Awesome, awesome job. Dave Raptors deserves that very much. Nifo Jam will get a P3. Devin Young will get P2 for the EU drivers. Then we have Monk right behind him. What a battle everybody's had. Then we have Flexard with no front wing, somehow getting that P6. Absolutely incredible. Oggio, what a shame for him at the end, but he still secures a decent amount of points. That's Mikash and, of course, Robbo as well, doing their best with their tyre situation that they had, their strategy issues. Robbo's going to get that on time penalties. What a shame for him as well. Gilly and JJ will both get points after that one. Absolutely insane stuff from them. Lalek is going to miss out on the points. That's going to be no points for Red Bull today after looking like a very strong lineup. Tran, P14, Gunther and Gibby, a double Mercedes back of the grid situation.
I know it's just the end of the race and we're just including things, but Gibby, no, he just put it in the wall. That could have been a bit embarrassing for him at the last moment, but no, yeah. Mercedes with a poor effort today. I did expect much better, especially from Gibby. He's showing good pace last season and he's got some good points finishes, but maybe just struggling with this track. It's much more difficult, especially in these colder and damp conditions. So maybe it just didn't suit him today. But
It's
and
true,
Andrews
he did a
wins.
very good job. Sorry about that.
That's right.
Alrighty, well, we'll get the results. And Andrews driver of the day, very well deserved. He goes from last to first. And here come the results. Quick look at the podium. Can we see? And Andrews come out on the top step. We got Dave Raptors and that is Devon Young right behind him. Alrighty, this is how it has gone. End Andrews P1, Dave Raptors P2, then we have Devon Young, Monk, Nifo Jan to P5 after all of that. Flexard, Olgeo, Mikash, Robbo, Max Gilly, JJ, Lalek Tan, and then we have, of course, Gunter and Gibby. DNFing just shortly before the end of the race was Jaden. He still will score a race finish. Cohen DNFing, Yaramir and Tom Brayner, unfortunately, having issues. Cohen still gets that fastest lap in the end, though, after all of that. He will not score a point, unfortunately, as he was not within the top 10 finishers. Alrighty, we have a quick look at the pit stop section to finish off everything. And then we will be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Italian Grand Prix. It's a pretty crazy one. We start the interviews with Max. Max, that was an up and down race. You're in a very good position, just lost out at the very, very end. Can you take us through that one?
At the first, you know Inters, but I just trained for the dry setup before the race starts. So it's quite confusing. It's very confused during the conditions. So and I also always missing the turn one braking point. So I got a corner cutting once.
Ah, okay.
I got 3-second penalty. So, but overall is a pretty great race after my loss in Abu Dhabi. So,
Yeah. To be fair, that's an absolutely incredible improvement. You had a lot of pace, so yeah, well done. It was a good job. It's just a shame that it didn't work out later on in the race. Spain, whether you're going to be there or not, do you like that circuit?
yeah, I definitely love Spain. So, I always get master in Set 2. So, I think Spain is quite one of my favorite track actually. So,
That's good to hear. Hopefully there's no rain at that circuit.
yes.
One last question.
Anyway.
If you can you please describe your race in 3 words?
Okay. I would. Thank
If
you.
you can't, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Next.
Fair enough. All right, thank you very much, Max, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Great effort today. And we move on to Nifo. Nifo, that's not a bad result in the end. Yeah, you had a lot of work to do. You were in the thick of it. Can you take us through? I mean, I don't know if you can even remember what happened. Can you take us through the race?
It's probably the most chaotic race I've ever had, at least on this game, but I think in sim racing in general, because, I mean, it just started with, like, the quality of I couldn't start, but I saw it was going to rain, but then it dried up, so I was like, okay, I'll just use the dry setup. But then, because of the desync at the start, like, the safety car was all behind all of us, and then we had to restart the lobby, and then the rain was going to continue for a bit longer, just because you can't put it that precise in the weather thing. So I knew I had to go with a more web-based setup, but I left the rear wing, but I just upped the front wing a bit. It was very oversteery, it was manageable, and it was not very drivable, but it was fine, I guess. Better than just a dry setup. At the start, someone spins, I avoid him, I get a 5-second for trying to avoid him, he goes and I went through him. I might have hit him, but it was not my fault at all. So I had to serve that one immediately, just to make sure that the next round of pit stops I didn't get screwed over by that. And then just racing, just trying to get back. A lot of instances in front of me. I spun twice. One was my own fault. I think the other one I got pushed a bit, and the other one was completely on my own. And yeah, then it dried up. I switched back to my normal wings. I was still off pace because I had a very good battle with the Alpha and the Williams. I don't know the names again, but it was a hard but fair battle, just trading DRS. And I think I kind of got blinded by that. I wasn't going for the win anymore. I was trying to beat them, so I dropped pace a little bit, forgot braking points, I didn't trust the setup anymore with how it dried, and I was not very happy with my dry pace, but it was manageable. And seeing all the chaos I survived, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, well done. Managing to get to the end of that one. Yeah, nice racing at the very end. I did notice the oversteer on a couple of occasions. So yeah, well done. That was a good job indeed. Spain, next circuit. Hopefully that's not going to be intermediate conditions. If it is intermediate conditions, would you look forward to that or not really?
No, I'll rather it be like wet or just dry. I really dislike the inters. I find it very hard to judge the braking points. and when it dries, I find it a bit hard to adjust to that as I switch to no line. So I think I'm looking forward to it if it's dry or wet, but if it's inters, then definitely no.
I'll tell you what, that is an unpopular opinion. You prefer the full wets over the intermediates. That's incredible. Fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Nifo. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
We move on to Devon Young. We'll move on to Dave Raptors a little bit later on, if that is okay. Devon, that was a crazy race. You started very far back at the beginning of the race. You've got yourself a podium.
Yeah, man. Pretty crazy race overall. Like, I don't really know. I still don't really know what happened. Like, just a lot of stuff, man. I think obviously started 17th, and then when the rain came, I got up to what I think it was P3, and then the safety car came out. And then there was a little bit of a struggle with strategy. I wasn't really sure like what to do. I thought it was way too wet for hards. I saw everyone going on hards. I was like, no, I just didn't really think that was a strat. And of course, F1 being F1, it just fucking it dries up like instantly. You know, like one lap it's wet, and the next lap it's completely dry. So that kind of messed me up a bit. So I mean, obviously I got the wrong strategy there. But then I pit for mediums. And then, yeah, like you said, managed to get back up to P3. I'm not sure if Nifojan will get his penalty removed, so I'm not really celebrating like the podium yet. I'm just going to wait for the final verdict to be released. But yeah, man, if I do get a podium, I think that's a pretty good race overall.
Yeah, so Nifojan and Andrews are both higher tier drivers, so you will be promoted to P2, I believe, if that's correct.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, very good job from you. I hate to ask, but do you think if you pitted under the safety car, would you have been able to go for the win?
I was thinking about this, but I mean, who was it that won, or who
Dave
would have won?
Raptors. Yeah, I think he's going to think maybe otherwise, even if you say he could have won.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I don't want to, say anything that's going to cause any controversy. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I think my pace was good, but whether it was good enough for the win, I'm not sure. We'll never know.
We will
But
never
I will
know.
take a P2.
Yeah, 2 P2s in the last 2 LSI
Yeah,
races.
man. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm
lovely,
just bringing
lovely.
everything up.
Yeah, mate.
Spain, can you finally get yourself a win?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's always hard with LSA, right? Because you sort of compare yourself to these other leagues. You're like, oh, I'm this quick in this league. I'm this quick in this league. But then you kind of come to LSI, like, it's always sort of been on another level, in my opinion. I don't know how everyone else finds it, but you can't really compare any other league to LSI. LSI is just on another level. So it's hard to say, man. I could say, oh yeah, I've got really good pace, and I get into the race, and I'm not as quick as I thought I was. So I don't know, man. Spain's not like a really strong track, but it's not a bad track either. So we'll see.
For sure. All I can say is it's never over until you cross that finish line. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but really well done. Great effort today. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Goofy ass race.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
We will move on to Flexard. Flexard, that was a heck of a race. Such a shame for the damage at the end, but you still managed to keep it on the circuit. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, of course. I had quite a good battle with Nifojan and Monk, I think it was. But in the end, I pushed a bit too hard. Got my front wing. My front wing was gone. But yeah, I decided to keep going, and I think it was the right decision. Very unfortunate for my teammate though to spin out in the second last lap. But anyways, I think I started right back, P14 or something like that, and in the end, I'm more than happy with the finish.
Do you think you just had a few issues in qualifying, or is maybe qualifying just not your strong point anyway?
Well, in the training before, I was like a second a lap quicker, so I don't really know what happened there. It's Monza. I don't really like this track, to be honest, but I hope to come back stronger in the next qualifying in Barcelona.
Yeah, for sure. Do you like that circuit more?
Well, I've never played it on F1.5, but before that, especially the first two corners, I quite like them. Yeah.
Yeah, they are good, and I think the circuit is a lot better in this game compared to others, so I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much, and
Yeah, thank you.
one last question. If you can, how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Yeah, in
If
the
you can't,
beginning
don't
with the
worry about
rain-
it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so I take 2 words: hectic, calm, and then hectic again.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
Well
you.
done today. Great effort. We move on to Ogeo. That was an incredible shame for you at the end, but a very good recovery after a crazy, crazy race. Can you take us through that one? And what happened at the end?
Yeah, so the start of the race, I got a 5-second time penalty because I got squeezed and then overtaken. The start was just really crazy. And then when the safety car came, I pitted for hards and then pitted for mediums because I realized they were gonna make it to the end. And after that, it was just a long recovery because I was kind of far back, but yeah, it was a tough one. And then closer to the end, I started to catch up to the guys in front. And on the second to last lap, my teammate crashes into the wall. And at the last corner, on the second to last lap, I spin, which was really unfortunate because I would have gone further up because of penalties and stuff. But yeah, it's a real shame. And then on the last lap, I had like no grip because yeah, my tires were really worn out.
Yeah, it's difficult at Monza. As soon as you get past a certain point, the tyres are incredibly dead. So yeah, you did a very good job to manage it and to get up there. Well done to you. Spain, it's a little bit more of a traditional circuit. Do you think you can get a podium there?
I certainly hope so, because I have already done a league race on the track. So hopefully I'm more used to the track than the other guys.
Yeah, well, from what I could see from the replay, you look to have some pretty good reaction times. So if you do have any more moments, you should be able to catch it, and hopefully Spain goes better for you. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Hectic, exciting, scary.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
We move on to Tom. Tom, that was a tough one. A very, very tough one. Safety car restart. Just warming up the tyres, right?
Yes. I was warming up the tires, but the problem was, I think Swan was it, just suddenly moved a bit. I didn't recognize it early enough. So I just into the back of him, which is very unfortunate because I felt like I have really good pace at Monza, especially in the practice before. And it's unfortunate that I couldn't get it done.
Yeah, it's such a shame. If you hadn't retired that early on, where do you think you could have possibly finished? Do you think you'd have got points?
I would say definitely, but it's a bit early to say it. But I would say it would have been most likely possible. I guess I would be next to Flexot. We were close at the beginning, and I think we would have full pace during the race. But there are many maybes, many ifs. It just happened. I hope it gets better.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Spain, do you think you can do better there? Only way up from now on?
Definitely, it can only get better. I think Spain suits me a bit. I have a good pace on it, but it's very, very interesting what pace the others go, and that's the biggest maybe I have before predicting something.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, hopefully it goes better for you there. And one last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words if you can?
Exciting, chaotic, so.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. We move on to Dave Raptors. You have won the Italian Grand Prix. How was that? Even with a time penalty.
Yeah, I mean, it was I'd say it was honestly a pretty average race for me. Nothing special, but I mean, you know, I think realistically the main thing with the result that came down to it was just the strategy call. It was a bit of a 50-50, and I was like, after my spin on the wets, I was like, may as well just give it a go, and it turned out to be the correct call. So that kind of just helped me, and then just spent a bit of ERS and tried to stay with End Andrews for a while, and just kind of just ran away with the race. And yeah, I mean, nothing too special in general, but definitely a thrilling race, especially at the start with the weather, and definitely a good start with me now running no TC and no ABS. So I'll definitely take it, that's for sure.
Yeah, well done. It's definitely put you in a good position, despite turning those assists off with Monza. You get that extra rotation, I guess, on the brakes as well. Really, really well done from you today. You deserve that very, very much. You are leading the Drivers' Championship. Spain, do you think you can repeat it there?
Spain's been a good track for me this year, but I know that it can be difficult. And I know a lot of people here are quite quick around Spain from past races we've done. So I think it's going to still be a challenge, and I think to win will be another hard task. But we'll see, and you know, maybe Robbo's up there fighting for the win as well.
Yeah, hopefully McLaren can get maybe a double podium. But yeah, really well done from you today. Very well deserved. One last question: how can you describe your race in 3 words?
We take those.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Really good effort, and yeah, thank you again.
Yes.
Alrighty, that's been it, and I will pass you over to Zingy.
Well, thank you everyone for watching the inaugural race of the F1 2023 game here at Monza. It was a bit of a hectic one, I can't lie, but very entertaining nonetheless. Join us next time at Spain in a week's time for the Spanish Grand Prix. We hope to see you there once again. Hopefully with a full grid and a bit less rain to maybe keep it a bit cleaner, let's just say. But other than that, great to see you guys here again, and we'll see you later.